Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're in the shooting shack because the wind is howling outside and we can't get decent audio. But we're in the shooting shack to talk about another, sadly, modern collectible. Why is that sad? Well, modern collectible means it's no longer available, no longer in production. You can't get them new anymore. Now, the rifle that we're going to talk about today is the KUSA, Kalashnikov USA KR9. And pretty much all of their product offerings, but we're focusing on the KR9 today. But this includes the 103, the 101, the Comrade shotguns, all that stuff. Rumor is on the internet that they're out of business. All the retailers are pretty much out of stock, and the discussions going around right now is that they're done, that they're no longer producing firearms and they're going out of business. And that sucks because KUSA came on strong onto the scene with their products, and they brought stuff to market we hadn't seen before, like the KR9, 103s and things like that we were getting from other sources. But the KR9 that you see here is the one and only of its kind on the US market. Now, Definitive Arms did a 9mm AK, but it wasn't a Vitez clone like this is. Palmetto State Armory has their 9mm AK, but it's not a Vitez clone. It's just a 9mm AK. This KR9 is a one-for-one copy minus the full auto capability of an actual Russian Vitez 9mm submachine gun. And so this, I think, was a strong product for them. Both of the rifles that I have, one is an SBR, the other one is a 60-inch barrel with a fake suppressor on it that you see here. Both of mine are very early guns. And as time went on, there were problems, apparently, with quality and things like that. And whatever reason, I don't know that it was the quality of the guns that brought them down. I think there maybe were some other business decisions that were going on. But again, I don't know. It's just based on countless conversations with no actual evidence that I've seen on the internet. But what I do know is that these things are out of stock. And when you go to try to find them, it's pretty sketchy. I found a few online sources that still have a few in stock, but for the most part, their product offerings are gone. So we're going to talk about KUSA, the KR9, and this modern collectible. If you want to pick one up, if you haven't gotten one already, don't waste any more time because the prices on them are just going to go up. But do know this. There is a possibility that somebody will inject capital into the company, perhaps replace the management of the company, or just outright buy the company and bring these back to market at their regular market prices. So if you're going to go out there and pick one up, be careful paying really, really high prices for it because you may lose that investment if these go back into production. So let's take a closer look at the KR9 and talk about this modern collectible. A lot of folks ask me, how can I get involved in the firearms business in that particular community? And one of the best ways to do that is to become a gunsmith. Every gunsmith I know is just overbooked with work. It's a very good living. And so if you would like to become a gunsmith, you need to go to a gunsmithing school or become an apprentice for an existing gunsmith. But Modern Gun School is an accredited college that also works with veterans in the GI Bill, where you can go and get a degree from accredited college in gunsmithing and then go out and start your own gunsmithing business, which I think is a really great option. Again, throughout my entire life, gunsmiths have always been able to earn a really good living, assuming they have a really strong work ethic. So please check out Modern Gun School. I do have a link in the video description below. When the KR9 was announced, I was ecstatic. I absolutely love the Vitez. I've always wanted to shoot one. Another one of the guns I was really hoping we would see at some point, maybe from KUSA or somebody else, was the Bison. I'll throw a picture up of what that is. But the Vitez is one of those things. It's one of my grail guns, just because you can't have it, generally speaking, you know. And anything that would come out of Russia, especially the Soviet Union, from the Cold War and stuff like that, I've always had an interest in. So I've always had an interest in enemy weapon systems and things like that. And so this was pretty high on my want list. I just never thought I'd actually see it. So when it was announced, I was over the moon. I could not believe it. And when it came out, I wasn't disappointed. Now, the actual Russian Vitez has known failure points. One of those known failure points is right here on the back of the dust cover. Back here where they roll around, and you see these rounded edges, they have a tendency to develop cracks in this area. And these were such perfect clones that even the KR9s were developing cracks in the same spot. And so I was really, really happy about all that. Not happy about cracked top covers, but I was just happy that it was such a good clone. And several of the things that make this different from other products that are on the market is that, first of all, this is an AKM, which means it uses a stamped sheet metal receiver, but the receiver is shorter than a standard AKM that's chambered in 7.62 by 39 or 5.45 by 39. So it's a shortened action. It's a simple blowback mechanism, has this hinged AKS-74U type top cover with a pick rail on the top. And then you have what looks like a gas tube out here, but just part of the weight of the blowback buffering system, which is just weight in the bolt itself. It goes into this gas tube. So there's no actual piston in here and is not gas operated. And so then you have just traditional AK style sights, front and rear, adjustable for elevation and windage in the front, and then you just have your range selections there on that slider. They had their own unique pistol grip, which would be correct, triangle folder, and then over here where the barrel pin would go through, there's this little extension on it, and you'll notice that there's this little lip on the edge of the stock here that's riveted on. That comes around, and then if you push up on it slightly, it'll pop over the edge of that little extension, and that locks the stock in the folded position. To deploy it, you just kind of push up on it and pull out, and it will come right off. This thing is very, very tight because it's still mostly brand new. I haven't shot this one a whole lot. I shoot my SBR more. And so, very, very cool design. Inside of the gun, standard AK style recoil system, although you'll see some differences back here. And here's your just rudimentary, very simple, I got oil on it, I can't get a hold of it to pull it out. There's your very simple blowback bolt. And you can take the gas tube, air quotes, off just by rotating the lever up, and then you can pop this off. Actually, I had to beat that thing in there. I used to have a cheese grater on here, and then I put this back on, and I had to pound it down in there, so the fitment's a little bit off on this one. So I'm not going to pop that one out because I have to beat it back into the gun. But yeah, very, very cool gun. You'll notice it has its own KUSA trigger system in it. But other than the trigger system, I mean, everything else on this gun, again, is a perfect clone, right down to the fact that they made the magazines just like the Vitez magazines. So these are polymer magazines. These are proprietary to the KR9 or to the Vitez. And again, these are perfect copies. And I've had very good luck with these. These have not caused me any problems. As a matter of fact, I've had no problems with either of my KR9s. Now, you can suppress these. So this one obviously has a 16-inch barrel and a fake suppressor on it, but on my SBR, I have run suppressors on it, just a standard 1/2x28 thread on there, which is obviously different than the actual Russian gun. You probably use a 14mm type thread or something like that. I'm not sure. I've never handled an actual Vitez. But yeah, isn't that cool? And then of course, when you put the top cover down, it maintains pretty good zero. Pops right in, nice and tight lockup. Have that pick rail that's riveted across the top. On top here, I have a Primary Arms 24mm classic red dot sight. This has a 1913 rail adapter because the stock sets so low as related to the receiver, unlike the AR-15 where the stock and the pick rail are pretty much in line with each other. It sets low enough where I don't have to put a riser on it. Actually, what's kind of funny is I get all the way down on the gun like this and I can't even see the dot. I have to bring my head up even a little bit on this. So that works very nicely on there. Matter of fact, it makes it kind of look like a Call of Duty configuration I have on one of my Vitezes in the game. But it's just a very, very cool gun, very pleasant to shoot. It sounds pretty tinny, so when you hear the bolt run on this thing, hear that metallic ring, I can get why that's annoying, but you'll hear it in the stock, in the receiver, that bing, but it's still kind of cool because the original would have done that as well. Let's fire off a few rounds with it here. I think I have a few rounds of Federal. I want to thank our friends over at Federal for supplying the ammunition free of charge to the channel. I've been shooting this stuff since I was a kid. Outstanding ammunition. Check them out. Very affordable range ammunition. And of course, some of the best match quality ammunition on the market they offer. So the gun does not feature a last round hold open. So here's an empty magazine. And even the mag well on this thing is polymer. I mean, that's original to the original design. And you'll notice that it doesn't lock open on the last shot fired. It has a traditional mag release like an AK right here. It's kind of small, but it's very easy to get. You just grab it, pinch it with your thumb, pull the magazine out. So it will not lock open on last shot fired. Ping, ping. All right. Let's see. We got wind coming out of the southwest. We'll start off at 100. 150. Hit that one. Go all the way out to 200. I have to hold about a man-size high. And hit it at 200. So, you know, they're surprisingly accurate. And I love 9mm PCCs like this. They're just fun to shoot. People say they're not practical. Define practical. For me, practical in this is just a ton of fun to shoot. Would I use this as a go-to firearm? Probably not. That's not why I'm interested in it. I'm interested in it from the military collecting side of things, and just being able to shoot a Vitez is just rewarding for me. And so being able to actually hit a target out at 200 meters, or 200 yards in this case, just like that, is insanity. I mean, listen how far that shot is from the report of the gun going off to the sound from the bullet hitting the steel plate, which is a challenge target down there. Listen how long it takes to get back to us. The sound that is. That's so cool. So much fun. And then, of course, right here at 50, 100, and 150. And she's empty. I just get a kick out of that, guys. I really, really do. Has a standard AK style selector lever. There's no provisions over here for a thumb control like you'd see on some AK variants like out of Bulgaria, even Israel. But yeah, just a very, very cool, well-designed gun. Lots of fun to shoot. And again, it just kind of sucks that they're gone. Now, I'm truly hoping that somebody will come in and pick up the ashes and do something with these, because there's a lot of stuff that KUSA was talking about that they never really got into production. So we saw the KR9s, we saw the Comrade shotguns, we saw the 103s, we saw some 101s and 5.56, the 103s being 7.62 by 39. We were hoping, there were rumors that a 5.45 gun was coming, but you know, right now all that seems to be put on hold or maybe even gone. So hopefully somebody comes in, because this has real value. I believe that these things were good sellers for KUSA. I would like to know what went wrong. If they are in fact going out of business, I'd like to know what went wrong, and hopefully, you know, whoever takes it over, and hopefully there is somebody, they can correct that and correct course and get these back onto the market. Because I would also like to see the Bison come out. I mean, invest money into that. I think that would do very well in the US market. I think going with the 5.45 AK, even though the ammunition's kind of hard to come by, it's still out there and people still want to shoot it. I like the 5.45. I like it better than 7.62 by 39. Never cared much for things like the Comrade shotgun, you know, the Sega 12s, things like that. I'm not a big shotgun guy, but man, there are just so many cool things they could have done. I mean, if they go back into the Cold War archives, there's so many cool Russian pistols and things like that they could bring back to market, things that have never been on the US market. But like I said, it seems to be on hold for now. So if you guys have a KR9, comment down below. What do you think of your KR9? Has yours been a good rifle? How about your 103? I know I've seen people talking about barrel problems, rivet problems, quality control problems. Fortunately, every single one of the the KUSA firearms I have, they're all early production guns. I haven't bought anything in a couple of years, but they've all been really, really good. If you take a look at the rivets on this, like I've seen people talking about these, and saying that if you can't see a KUSA firearm, don't buy it sight unseen online. You want to handle it so you can take a look at the rivets, make sure they have a good dome to them, there's no light underneath them, and you can tell the rivets on this thing are really, really good. And so I have found no quality issues with the guns that I have, but I'm not saying quality issues didn't happen, because there are just far too many reports on the internet of those quality issues. And maybe that's what brought them down, maybe it's mismanagement, we just don't know. Anyway, assuming they've been brought down. Anyway, so let us know down in the comments. Do you have, you know, a 103? Do you have a KR9? Do you have any of the KUSA products? Let me know how those are working for you. If you had problems with them, did you get the problems rectified? Was the company responsive? I don't know. I've never had to deal with that, you know, with their customer service and stuff like that. All right, if you'd like to see more videos like this, folks, you can support us on Patreon. There's a link in the video description below. Been demonetized here on YouTube like many other content creators, so you can help us that way. Another way to do that is to take a look at the either join or subscribe button underneath the video player you're watching right now. You can mash either one of those buttons to help support us right here on YouTube. Last but not least, please swing by, check out Copper Custom. Thank you for 16 years of support, and we'll talk to you guys soon.